glorify you, Jesus. Magnify you, Lord. You're worthy of the glory, Lord.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Last week we concluded with the fact that as we prepare for Jubilee, that you need to live by what you know in such a way that anytime you face the unknown of teaching someone what you know, that you will be confident in what you do know, so confident in what you do know that you'll be able to stand against any accusations towards you. And as we're coming up on this time and you've had your cards, and I give them to you at the beginning of the year, each year, and if you've noticed, I've each year have backed off of letting you know the specific times in advance. I just start talking about them when it's that time, because what my expectation out of you has been to begin to be aware of those things on your own. And as we come into these times and begin to see these times, again, even if you haven't been paying close attention to them and watching them in and of themselves, you should still have been able to feel the difference in what has been going on within you.
Amen.
And again, what my hope and prayer has been is that as you start to feel that difference, you start paying attention to the time. Because again, that is what we've got to understand when the word tells us that there is a time and a season to everything under the sun. Then we've got to realize that that includes us and what we feel and what we experience and how we experience it and what goes on with it. All of those things are put in place to help us be aware of what time it is. Amen. The reason that, again, that this is so important right now is because, again, we've gotten into the part of kingdom time, and we're still looking at relationships, and we're looking at the bow, and this is part 7 of the bow. And what we've just started last week of teaching someone what you know. Probably the first time that I ever began to introduce this stuff to you, you were unsure, you really didn't know, and you really didn't think it made a difference of what time it was, and we're in God's grace, and it should just be going better, and we believe, and we're going to use our faith, and these things are just going to change. And you remembered fighting and fussing within yourself, thinking, well, does this time stuff really matter? What is Pastor talking about? Does this make sense? That is the normal thing that you should feel when you're first being introduced.
Amen. Amen.
But at this stage, everybody here should pretty much know when the time is shifting, when things are adjusting, when you're having to reevaluate and redirect who you are and where you're going and what you're supposed to be doing in a particular season. You should be able to detect that and know that, because we've been being made aware of that. And as we look at the passage that we were looking at in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, the 23rd verse down through the 25th verse, as we're going into this time known as Rosh Hashanah, I pose a question to you here at Ecclesia, so what do you really know about Rosh Hashanah? What do you really understand about this time? Because this time means something crucial to you, because it's actually the Feast of Trumpets. You know that. You understand that. That's what comes from the 23rd and the 24th verse, and it's explaining that it's a Sabbath, it's a memorial of blowing trumpets. It's a holy convocation. It's a time that he mentions in verse 25. It says, "You shall do no servile work therein." Now, what I want you to understand about that particular statement is that it's signifying there should be some rest during this time.
Okay.
There should be some peace. There should be some calming of who you are during this time. Now, if there's not, then that's where you gotta back up and take some evaluation and look at some things and see what's actually going on and why it's not beginning to rest, why it's not at peace, why it's not where it should be, why are you still struggling with what you should be already be past? Why are you still up in arms about things that you have no control over? Why are you still at a place that you're still questioning who you are and what you're designed to do? Why are you still there? And that's that's the importance of what this blowing of this trumpet really is, because if you look in verse 25, he says, "You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord." The importance of understanding just that statement, because one of the meanings of fire means to question. You need to be questioning it, and you've heard it when people have been under fire for their actions. That means they're getting a bunch of questions, just like you have been getting about what's been going on with you. These are instances that what I'm wanting you to understand about teaching someone what you know is you should be okay with them questioning you during this time, because when they question you, you're not still trying to figure it out. You actually already know. You already know. And that's the thing that I'm wanting you to begin to understand about the function of where we are and coming up on this time of Jubilee, because when the restoration starts, you're not going to have time to figure out what you know. You have to already know it, because when they come to you, that's why the word tells us you're going to have a ready answer. So in teaching someone what you know, and the reason that I wanted you to see this from the standpoint of what Rosh Hashanah actually stands for, this is why it's so important for you to be comfortable with who you are.
Amen.
See, because if you're not comfortable with who you are, then you'll start finding yourself in a place of something that I'm going to talk about later, basically known as the counterfeit. You're putting on a show for somebody that says that they know you, but the truth of the matter is they don't really know you. They know who you've been putting on a show as.
Right.
And that's what's been making you upset with some of the people that you've been interacting with, because you're starting to find out that they've been putting on a show for you. So you start to think that this is legitimate, and then all of a sudden the trumpet blows. And that's where we're at now. The trumpet's been blowing. There has been a function, and that's one of the things that happens in the Jewish culture during the 6th month, they will continually blow the shofar each day. They'll blow the trumpet each day.
Amen.
And